Morning. Let's sneak the people out of the kitchen in here, and then let's roll. I see most of our panelists sitting here. So we're going to do, instead of a video, Aaron thought it was a good idea to read. How many of you have heard this? I wrote this probably 15 years ago. Some of you used to have them up on your wall. We have these up here. It's really not an affirmation, but we kind of did it as an affirmation. It was something I wrote coming home from a speech a number of years ago, and then I fine-tuned it and I handed it out to you guys. I don't know when it was and read it to you, but I'm going to read it. I'm going to ask everyone to stand, and then I'm going to ask you guys to repeat back what I say. Are we ready? All right. Well, that was not what this says. Okay. All right. You are kind. You are beautiful. Thank you. You can do anything you want. You are loved. You are respected. You are smart. You are generous. You are the best. There's nothing that you cannot accomplish. You are driven. You are my friend. You are my colleague. You are a doer. You make a difference. We together are a team that no one can beat. We are the best because we believe in each other. We care about each other. We are here to help each other grow and chase each other's dreams. We help our clients' dreams come true. We lift up others. We are young and young at heart. We are all different. Our culture is one of love, kindness, caring, and mutual respect. Good job. No one of us is better than the other. Thus, nothing is impossible for us. There is no reason to fear failure because failure is not an option. If we do not succeed the first time, we will try again and again. Greatness takes hard work. We are not afraid of hard work. We are here to enrich the lives of others. We will change the world because we believe that we can. Are you with us? All right, guys. Heather says I have some high expectations. All right. Well, we're going to have a couple panels from takeaways from Explosion. I felt it was probably the best explosion we've ever had in regards to content, energy, and everything. So that's exciting to me. With that, we're going to run things a little backwards. Where's our good girl? Tani. We're gonna because they're not there the second half. We're gonna have Tani give away the Good Guy Award first. Can you grab that pen for me? The pen. Oh, let me give you a mic. Scream. Just scream.
Hi. I'm Tani. Okay. I'm
the good girl.
Oh, yes. Okay. I am giving this to someone who I've really gotten to know a lot this year. She's super sweet, super devoted to her job, very hardworking, on an awesome team, and has great mentors around her. She gets married soon, and she is just the sweetest and super positive person, and I'm so grateful to work alongside her here. Grace.
Thank you. Congratulations.
I got my wedding dress right after this. I don't mind my wardrobe.
Thank you. Prosperity, you want to come up and give us a quick 5-minute update here? Interest rates have been interesting lately, so we hear a lot of clients talking about them not coming down, and it is clearly slowing the market down. Turn on the
All right, we did. I don't know if you brought. So, for those of you that are on social media, you may have seen this post, but this is from two of our very own agents here in this building, and I'm not sure if they were sober when they did this or not, but they saw interest
I did
rates,
see that.
They saw interest rates come up, so you want to see their reaction to rates. I'm not sure if that does that play out, Aaron? No. Maybe some of you have had a similar reaction to that recently, but for those of you that caught headline news, you know, we got a 10-year treasury that's at 4.35 this morning. Rates are as the highest they've been since 2000. Yeah. There you
See
go.
something positive in that.
All right, so what does that, honestly,
Highest of the century.
there is a silver lining here. There is a silver lining. So I included a link that I think Vince and Aaron will send out afterwards. It's Brian Buffini and Dave Stevens talking about their projections on interest rates and why. So let me ask you this. If interest rates were 5% today, where would that $300,000 home that's priced at 7.5% today, where would that be priced at if it was a 5%? Would it be 330? 350? Right? Is anybody open for that? Nobody wants that, right? But I think that if you project forward a year from now, at least what Buffini and these guys, a number of guys are saying this, rates are going to be back in that vicinity. So if I'm a buyer in this market, I can save $30,000 by buying that $300,000 house today. And yeah, I'm going to pay 2.5% higher in interest rate, but that interest rate cost is only about $6,000 more. So my net advantage is 24 grand. So if you don't have that math down and you're getting the thing, hey, we're going to wait for rates to come down. Well, rates are going to come down, prices are going to go up. You're going to pay more over the term. So what are you better off doing? Anyway, I think that's the message.
Okay.
Our
What are
message
today's
today.
rates on a 30-year conventional?
Oh, 7 3/4.
Okay.
Heading
So
up.
has everybody been watching rates? Because obviously they have been moving here lately.
Heading up. It's going up today again. 10-year treasury yields up 5 basis points this morning. So I think you're going to continue to see this. They're going to squeeze people out of the market. You know, and what are we doing to try to help that out? We're trying to open up what we call debt to income ratio for folks. And so if we've got people who have cash on the sidelines, we're having them put less money down, pay off debts so they can qualify.
You guys got anything to add?
You know, I met with a group yesterday and we were talking more about that 2-1 buy down. And I think that's a good option for obviously the benefit for the buyer, getting the lower interest rates for the first 2 years. The sellers that have their house just sitting on the market, instead of reducing the purchase price, they could possibly yield more by just paying for that 2-1 buy down instead of decreasing their purchase price or list price. So that's another good option.
Mamie,
What's the difference right now with ARMs?
can you repeat the question because they can't
Not
hear that in
much.
the back?
Nothing really. We haven't priced an ARM out in like a year and a half because the yield curve's been inverted. You'll see sometimes some banks out there might throw some ARM rates out there temporarily, but honestly, what banks are having to do right now, they're having to compete for deposits with the U.S. Treasury. So if I'm a bank right now and I got to raise capital, I'm having to increase my yield that I'm going to pay somebody on a money market account or a CD to 5.5%. Well, that takes them out of the. I mean, they don't have margin to do an ARM. So it's you know, I think bank consolidations are on the horizon. Regional banks are probably getting squeezed. So a couple other things I would say, gang, in this marketplace, we're starting to see large fees being charged on NIFA deals. So if your customer is a first-time home buyer or subsequent home buyer, I mean, it's like $1,700 different coming through. Hell, we saw Cardinal, not to bring up who it is, but they were charging 4.5 points in discount on a deal to get it happen. Does anybody know what that means? It's a $300,000 purchase. It was like $17,000 in discount points to get it done. We got a hold of the deal. We took that same $17,000, paid off debt, and qualified them. So it's like, you know, some of the lenders that are in our marketplace have never dealt with this stuff because it's been too easy for too long. Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I just wanted to thank you very much for
Oh, today.
Yeah, we're closing it. Can I tell them what happened?
Go ahead, and then we'll get it.
Okay, just a quick testimonial. Thank you again to Prosperity and Rich. I had the listing. The buyer's agent came in, said, hey, seller has to pay closing costs. And I said, whoa, before we do that, I want you to call Rich over at Prosperity Mortgage. He was able to save him money. We didn't have to pay closing costs. They got a more competitive rate. And we're closing today at 4 o'clock. So thanks, Prosperity and Rich. Yes, he did it in 2 weeks. Great work.
Thank you, guys.
Anyway, thanks, guys. Thanks, Vince.
Yes, can we have, I see Karen's already up here, Lori, Paul, Trevor, and Tasha. Yes, I'm going to have AH go real quick. So David, can you come up here real quick and talk, and then get the rest of the panels maybe situated and set up here? Thank you, sir. And here's a...
Thank you.
There's Tasha. Oh, I guess give that to David first, if we could, please.
Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody. I wanted to go over a couple things real quick with you. So for the month of July, AHS paid out $35,000 in claims. So that being said, that saves your clients about $70K. And that's just out of this office. That's on first year claims. For this year, we're up to $167K. So that saves your clients, and again, that's just this office, about $300,000 in claims. So definitely getting the benefit there. The one thing I want to talk about today has to do with the AC claims. We're seeing more AC claims now because it's that time of year, and right now I think we have a heat index that's right somewhere around 105, 110. That being said, along with the usual hot water heater and things of that nature, we have a lot more AC claims. One thing that you'll see, and this is me being a straight shooter, when you look at our flyers and so on, our big benefit is cost savings. That is the main benefit, cost savings, with the second being helping move the closing forward. That being said, what happens this time of year is people are looking for us to be faster, but there's way more claims. There are already claims in process and so on. On our flyers, you do not see the words speed, quick, immediate, today. None of those things are there. And I don't mean that to slam the company or the industry. I looked at the competitors and I see the same thing. I don't see the words there, except for one competitor. I saw they had a customer quote, and the quote was, I called blah, 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 and they had someone at my house same day. They needed to put below that, results not typical, or whatever they need to do. But, so that being said, I'm saying that just to help set the expectation. Not talking about anyone in here. We all have claims. Our clients have claims, and we want them done as fast as possible, including me. I want them done as fast as possible as well. But everything is not an emergency. I had an example just a couple of days ago where somebody said, hey, my client closed on the house this morning. They walked in, the AC doesn't work. This call was at 3:30. They went in, the AC doesn't work. I called AHS. You guys can't have anyone there until tomorrow. What can you do to get somebody there today? Well, obviously I didn't get anybody there today, but just trying to help with that expectation. What I'm asking you guys is, be sure to not sell it as something that's fast, quick, immediate. I hate saying that, but it's just the truth. Sometimes we do have people there the same day. I do get calls, hey David, somebody was already here and fixed me today. So that does happen, but that's not a typical situation by any means, especially this time of year when you have the AC claims. My phone's ringing like crazy. That's what I have for today. So
Thank you.
thank you.
So I felt that, I'm looking over here, videos, we're hoping to have all of them done by the end of the week. We're going to run through slides today. So we'll start getting slides out today or tomorrow from our speakers that had things. I felt it was the best explosion event we've had. I thought the energy was incredible. I thought there was great takeaways from it. We had sold it out end of May, and then we ended we usually do 175. We end up with 197 people, and the majority of them showed up. So it was packed in here. But I thought it was a time for people to we said get real, get raw, and people were just transparent on here's our struggles and here's what we're doing to get through this. They talked about mindset and a lot of different things. But I felt there's a lot of great takeaways that you guys can go back and implement and put in your business to help you grow your business. And the theme was, you don't need a big thing. It's really the little things. You know, what's a little thing that you can go implement in your business that's going to help you continue to move forward, that you can do on a daily basis. So I had someone text me this morning and say, could we, because we have so many new people, even though we have your names up here, could I have each one of you introduce yourself and say if you're, on a team and what the size of your team and maybe how much business you do, just to put in perspective for each person in the audience. And then when Karen, we get to you, you'll introduce yourself, and then I'll have you give your first couple takeaways if you could.
Tasha Moss, I am on a team. There are 6 of us. Last year we did, I think, around 72 million.
Trevor Shade with the Exclusive Listings Group, and I think last year we did about 46 million.
Lori Paul, and I'm with my sister and one other agent, and last year we did about 44 million.
Karen Jennings, and
Is it on now?
my name is Karen Jennings.
You hear back then? I don't think so.
Hello.
Sorry about that.
My name is Karen Jennings, and I'm out of the Regency offices, and I have 4 agents on my team. I've actually gotten smaller this year. So, and last year...
I'm trying to get smaller this year myself.
And we did in the 60s last year.
So let's kick us off. What was a couple, let's start with what was your favorite session you attended and why?
My favorite session was Jimmy Burgess. I just loved
His opening one or his one on AI?
the opening one.
Okay.
They were both excellent.
So talk about some of the takeaways out of that and why you like that.
Yeah, so first of all, he talked about that him and his wife took some time off, which is really important in our industry, that we do take time off so that we can actually regroup, think, strategize. So him and his wife took this really nice trip. They went into the wine country up in Napa Valley, and they, during his trip, he kind of related what he found out about growing grapes of wine, and how it's important that you have, it first starts with your soil, like your foundation of your business, and how important that soil is. And volcanic soil is really important for coffee, and different things like that. But he talked a little bit about that, and then he talked about what was the most impressionable for me was the pruning of the vines, because he showed a picture. He said that he was producing a lot of the person that he was talking about. They were producing a lot of wine, and they didn't have time to prune one year because they were so busy producing grapes that they only pruned half of their crop of vines, and they didn't prune the other. Well, years after that, those ended up all dying because he did not prune them, and how important it is to prune the negativity out of your life, how it's important to quit doing the things that are not successful or that are not bringing you business, and how important that pruning process is. And not just, what I liked about Jimmy was he didn't just speak about his business, he spoke about how important it is his overall life, your relationships with other people, your home life, he's an incredible person.
And he really went on to say, right, to that point, is the 5 people you're hanging around,
Yes.
you will be drawn to, right? If you hang around 5 successful people, you're going to be drawn to be successful. If you hang around 5 negative people, you're going to be drawn to be negative. And I would tell you, one of our, I didn't know this until Wednesday, but one of a person that was in the top 10 that was here on Tuesday ended up leaving Tuesday night. I did not see him at our party, and then I found out on Wednesday, they're like, I need the slides from Jimmy's presentation. She said, I had to go home because I got to figure out who are the top 5 people in my business. And she went into a little bit of a story that is hers, not mine to share, but basically said there's one thing that I love that I'm passionate about, but the person that runs it is really negative and abusive, and I'm going back to say I'm not going to be part of that anymore. And she said that was just an eye-opener for me, that I need to look in the mirror and say, okay, who am I surrounding myself with? Who do I need to get out of my life? And who do I need to have in my life? And what kind of people do I want to attract to me?
Yeah, and the last thing I wanted to talk about, because I'm a golfer, love it. I would do it every day if I had time, but I don't. And I told Jimmy I'm going to take him golfing next time he comes, so he needs to call me. I will take him wherever he wants to go to golf with him, because he played college golf. But he talked about the imperfections on the golf ball, and how why do we not hit a perfectly round ball? Well, because you need the imperfection so that it cuts through the wind, it is able to rotate, it's able to go farther in life, and that all of our imperfections, because we all have imperfections or issues that we've had in our life or things that make us so much stronger, but without all those imperfections we cannot go as far, and it really resonated with me.
Thank you. What was your favorite session and why?
I liked Heidi a lot, but before I talk about that, I will say, if you guys haven't, tour our offices, because I hadn't. And I took people on tours. Trevor's office is amazing. I mean, just go around and take a look at, that's what everyone is so amazed by our offices, but the personality within each office and the speakeasy that we can go to on Friday nights or whenever. I don't, but everyone has these gecko boards. I do not, but it's a big thing. If you walk around in the offices and see them, it really tracks what you're doing, what your team's doing, and I think Heidi just talks about a lot of accountability. Really find out where you're falling short. Is it with your family? Is it with your diet? Is it with your work? So take it all and look at it. She had some charts that I know Vince will get out for us. And you can customize those to what you want if it's handwritten notes, but really, really write these things down or put them in your computer, whatever, so you see really what you're doing. And it doesn't just necessarily have to be everyday work. It's things with our family. It's things with diet. It's, everything in life. So incorporate that.
And when she started having accountability, she became more successful each one of those things in her life she is trying to attempt, right?
Right.
We don't like accountability. Does anybody like accountability? As a general rule, we don't, but it is rewarding at the end of the day because it yields results.
She's doing like 2 CMAs a day, which I think even if 1 or 2 a week, I think if we break it down to what works for us and don't overextend yourself, but really figure out what works. I don't love making calls, and that's what she said she doesn't either. So it's just different things that we can do to touch base with our client. Just lunches out just to say hi, not even talk about business. But I actually had a friend who has been a client too reach out to me on Friday and said, "What are you doing for lunch?" And it was kind of like, it was great just to have a conversation and go enjoy it. It wasn't about real estate or her business or anything. But again, we did talk about that, of course. But so it's the little things. I don't think Heidi said it, but it's never. We don't have past clients. Everyone's just a client of ours. We don't talk about past clients. So I do a lot of farming. There was some good ideas with different farming in neighborhoods. One, I can't think of her name. She's from St. Louis, but
Kelly.
She did some door hangers for Halloween and took it around her neighborhood and asked, if anyone wanted a pizza delivered for Halloween night for dinner. Everyone's busy with their kids, that they could send in with a QR code, send in their order, and her team actually delivered pizzas that afternoon. So some good ideas.
Perfect. Trevor, talk about your office and why it was so cool, first of all. and there's beer and wine up there on top of that.
I think the whole idea behind the office, I saw the team, they really used the office as more of a drop and go. Nobody seemed to spend 8 straight hours in the office. They'd spend 2 or 3. And so we didn't do the separated desks or cubes or anything like that. And people could come in, and we had the desk high enough so you could sit and stand and all of that. And then I realized my best work was typically happening at either a coffee shop or a brewery or something like that. So we just designed our office to feel like the O's. And I didn't want like a private office necessarily for myself, but I knew I'm actually somewhat introverted, and so I need that space to separate and get away. So we have these speakeasy booths that are sound absorptive, so I could make phone calls and like hide away in the corner. And if somebody had a question, sure, they could be committed to their question and come around and grab me. But that was the idea. So yes, we ended up with a speakeasy meets a brewery meets a coffee shop, and that's the tone and flow and feel. And then of course all the techie stuff with the gecko boards and 4 screens everywhere.
Favorite session and why?
One of my favorite sessions was the investment breakout session. I love what real estate can do for people and their long-term options and their long-term wealth, and the getting to hear different markets and what a potential capitalization rate is that you could find, and where ranges are and how they're talking to their clients, and the fact that any one of us can use all of our past clients and all of our past client databases to talk about investments with, and somebody that would only be buying a house, once every 7 years or once every 13 years, well, maybe now they're going to be buying 6 in that time, or 3, or even just 1 more this year, and then tell a friend that they did. And the additional business and the additional ripple that can happen just through those investment conversations with anyone and everyone. The examples and stories they were talking about, that people would be following them on their email and their newsletters and their drip campaigns for years. I mean, I think it was like 10 years or something that one of these clients came up out of nowhere, and they had no idea they were even on the campaign. And now all of a sudden, it's one of the biggest listing opportunities in portfolios that they have in Connecticut, I believe it is.
It is.
Yeah, and so.
And I want us to figure out how we can make this work in residential, because it was an agent that is both residential and commercial, but she's got a 12,000 person database, I believe.
Yeah.
And every morning, she will send out top investments, rate of returns, cap rates, and analyze them and send out the entire 12,000. So she is the knowledge, right? She's always giving value to her clients. And to this point, she has this huge list now, which is getting an obscene number of listings out of one client, because it's someone that she somehow got on a database years ago that saw that she does that on a regular basis. There's got to be a way for us in residential, maybe it's not daily, but there's got to be a way for us on a regular basis, I've got to believe, to send out something of value, analyzing something, letting people look at what's going on. Interest rates here, just talking about what's happened to them and giving updates on that. But if there's a daily or maybe 3 times a week email going out saying, here's what's going on in the market that's of value to them, letting them know, here's what's happening, value of houses, there's got to be a play there that can help us. Now, not everyone has a 12,000 person database, but you can build to that over time. And she said, I put everybody. It doesn't matter if I met them, a referral, open house, how I met them, they were going into that database and I was sending stuff to them. Tasha, favorite session, takeaways from it?
Mine was exactly what Karen had. So one thing that I will say is that a lot of it dealt with getting back to basics. Like, realistically, over the last 4 years, when it comes to like the normal things that we would do in real estate, we were so stuck in the grind of like day to day, like just staying afloat, that a lot of the like high touch client activities, mailings, handwritten note cards, all of the things that we did to stay in communication with our clients kind of, I wouldn't say like we all completely forgot it, but we didn't have as much time for it, and just really getting back to doing some of those things. And then we talked about this a lot. There was so much information and so much great information, but really just picking a couple things and focusing on those things, as opposed to making this big, huge list and then never doing anything with it. I listened to a podcast probably like 6 months ago, and it really talked about like when you're organizing your activities, sometimes we put like, it's really more than just like a to-do, it's really a project, like the project, like update my website. Well, that'll stay on your list forever, because it really is just, it's not like one task. You really need to like break it down in what you want to do with your business. And I'll just say a few of the things that I have on my notes. An app that I thought was great was, a lot of people are using boards, and a lot of that is to like keep everything in one spot, like whatever you have for a tagline for social media, have that there so it's really easy to access and you're not scrolling back through everything. When it comes to like contract things, home inspections, different verbiage that you use, then you can always just go back to your board and find that, because I mean, we have like a bazillion addendums on .loop, but we all kind of do our own business in our own way, and just being able to utilize boards in that way. And then a couple, so we call discount brokers, but instead of calling them discount brokers, because so many people want a discount, so why are we feeding into that? Calling them limited service brokers, which I think really will hit home with the people that we're trying to get the listing from. And then, when talking about the market, I do feel like there's a lot of people that still are complaining about it as real estate agents, but it's, our job to make it seem, because it's an opportunistic market, and to really hit home with our clients on the opportunities that they have in this market, whether it's for investments or, stepping up or downsizing.
Trevor, we'll hit back to you. There was other sessions. We had a number of general sessions here with top producers giving their takeaways. We had something new this year, which was called Rapid Fire, where we had, versus kind of the panel where we kind of go back and forth and everyone keeps asking. We had 5 people come up and talk on a specific subject. Was there anything out of Rapid Fire that you liked or stood out to you? To any of you, I guess. Trevor, go first.
I think so. I think that's. I didn't label the session as rapid fire in my notes, so I'm like, well, I'm pretty sure this is this one. But I think what I liked about it was everything became extremely tactile. You had in a lot of sessions you'll get thought process and you'll get high level and strategy and things like that. But in these rapid fire sessions, it really was actionable points and little bits of advice. I think one of the items that came out of that was in hosting events. Host events, and as many as you can think of, and as many as you can possibly do for any reason that is a value and a benefit, even just for fun. Do something with pets or a humane society or whatever, and make sure to send out notifications in advance, but send out some afterward and let people know how it went. And there's all this capitalization that could happen around anything that you're going to host. If you like big, large events and group events all together, great, but it doesn't even have to be that. Mamie talked about some of the events that she does, and they're actually very intentional, smaller, on-purpose pockets of people, and do a pocket event and another pocket event and another. And honestly, you could tell your whole group that pocket event went on, even though only small groups were invited, and then they would be invited to other ones. And so there was a bunch of items in that rapid fire like that I thought was really good. And Rachel Skradsky, I think, had 2 or 3 of them about Facebook lists and talking about the 70s of who's.
That was good. I'm going to have her go through that.
Yeah.
So don't steal her thunder.
I won't. I won't take it. I won't steal her stuff. But it was really good. So yeah, pay attention to the next panel.
Yeah, I was going to bring up Rachel too because she had a really good idea for Facebook with groups, but you can talk about that.
Other takeaways that you took out of
I
the
think,
event.
like Alan talked about, our realtor, that we have a code of ethics that we stand behind, and to really bring that up to our clients, because most of us don't ever, and that it's my fiduciary responsibility to market your home as it's my own home, that we pledge to that, and I think really talk through some of that stuff, because those are important things to make people understand that we are going to do our best for them and that our clients deserve that. There was so much on AI, I don't even know where to go with that whole thing.
Well, no one's touched on that yet. I'm a little surprised because I've received a
it's-
lot of positive comments on the AI session we had.
So there's just so many things you can do with that, and I need to get a lot better with social media, the YouTube videos and all that kind of stuff. That's where it kind of makes my brain go crazy, so.
Karen, some other takeaways that you have?
Well, I love Alan Dalton, so when I went to nationals or the convention, I loved listening to him. I think I just kind of resonate because he's a basketball player too.
Yep.
So, but he talked about his intensity, about his persistence, that he lived in his car for a year when he was 14 years old. I was just blown away by that, and his siblings would bring him food and clothes and wash his clothes and everything for him, but he was just his intentional focus every single day. I was just blown away by it. He always talks and drives home. It's not a CMA, it's a marketing proposal. We're not giving you a listing presentation, we're giving you a marketing proposal. He just brings that stuff home pretty quickly. Some of the other things that I got out that I actually been researching this is the Google My Business. To up that, and I looked into all of that last night. I've been on ChatGPT. ChatGPT is just a simple way to, if you want to get really credible content to your postings or with your buyers, for your listings, for anything you're doing, go to ChatGPT and it can spit out information very, very quickly. So I've looked into those, and you can sign up for those programs. I've been online listening to Jimmy Burgess, going through his YouTube videos. If you just want to get updated on some things, I think I just resonate a lot with him and how he presents everything, and it's a quick way to kind of motivate yourself by listening to those videos, just getting on and do those YouTube videos. So it was incredibly motivating to me to be there just for, it's a day and a half, but I actually thought that this year's was the best I had been to. And I was really thankful that I went because I was kind of a last minute. I missed the early bird specials, let's just say that. So I'm really glad that I went.
Tasha, anything on AI that stood out to you or any other sessions that really you think are points you'd like to drive home with the audience?
With the AI, I have used it to some extent with just like I'll write up something and then not really love it and have them redo it. But so after the sessions, I was like, well, I'm just gonna try. Todd and I bought this Airbnb, and I was just completely stumped on like how I wanted to word like the commentary in it, and I put something super simple like write a description for a garage converted Airbnb, and like 3 paragraphs later, I'm just shocked at like
In 20 seconds.
in less than 20
Yeah.
in like 3 seconds. So it's pretty crazy like how great it sounds and in such a short period of time. But I'm not saying to just utilize that 100% in your business. I mean, I always tweak stuff anyway, but I mean, it's a great starting point.
Yeah. Let's give these guys a big hand if we could. Our next panels, they're coming up. Trina, Mamie, Rusty, and Rachel, please. There's when we get these videos out, it was Jimmy and Sherry Johnson also were talking on AI, and they gave a lot of takeaways of things that you can do for marketing proposals, of things that they're doing for podcasts. So I would highly suggest watching. We'll give you a list of what the most popular videos are. We're going to have a survey go out here today or tomorrow and get that back from you. But I got tons of positive comments on that. Mamie, introduce yourself if you could and kind of team or not team and how much business you did. And then we'll get down to Rachel. And then Rachel, kick it off with your favorite session and why and some takeaways.
Mamie Jackson.
Are we on?
Mamie Jackson, Jackson Group, and we have about, 4 to 6 people, it depends, I don't know. And we did 56 million last year.
Rusty Johnson, Insight Group, about 6 people, and we did 50 million last year.
Trina Shahan with the Houses in Omaha team. We have about 8 people, and we did about 66 million last year.
I'm Rachel Skradsky Lures with the Forehead Skradsky Lures team, the Vince calls a law firm. I think we have 6 people, and we did about 60 million last year.
Start us off. Favorite session, why, and then some takeaways.
So I really liked Heidi's session. I always love her. She's big on social media, and I feel like I'm always trying to get more information about that because we've really tried. I feel like my generation is on Instagram, and I've gotten a lot of business from Instagram, and so I want to continue with that. One thing that the last panel didn't really talk about, but continue the videos, which I know we all hate them. There was some good information on using AI to, like, if you make a long video and then it'll split it into like 7 videos. So I can't remember who was talking about it, but with listings sitting on the market.
I thought that was Sherry Johnson, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, with listings sitting on the market longer, we in the past few years have just done like an intro video with this really cool listing. Well, now it might be on the market for 3-4 weeks. So you can take one video and then like use AI to basically split it into 7 different videos so that if it does sit on the market for a while, you just have to go out there once and make a video, and then you can share new content throughout the life of the listing. So I thought that was helpful. Another thing that I really liked, or kind of just got my brain working in a different way with the AI, was we've used ChatGPT to write descriptions, but you can actually specifically state that it's search engine optimization, like to make it more like get trending on, and I don't know how all that works, but I thought, wow, that's interesting. You can ask it to write an SEO optimized post so that you actually get more out of the description than just a description. So I thought that was really helpful.
Can you talk about your 7 Ds, which was one of the things that someone was talking about here?
Yeah, so I think I got this from my coach. I can't quite remember, but basically the 7 Ds of people that are moving right now, which are death, diamonds, divorce, default, deployment, and then downsizing. And if I look at my business over this past year, with the interest rates being so high, like people that are moving are people that have to move, and they almost all fall into that category. So just trying to be mindful of that. I've kept that up on my computer and just looking on Facebook, like who's having babies. Diapers was the last one, I missed that. Who's having babies, who's getting married. Like those are all people that are thinking about moving or maybe thinking about moving. So reaching out to those people. I've also gone onto Facebook and put all my clients in a specific group. They don't know they're in a group, but it basically makes it so that I can check in on them, because I think one thing that I've realized over this past year is that every person knows 5 real estate agents, and sometimes it's the last person they talk to that gets the business. So I want to constantly be in front of them. I want to be checking in on their lives and making sure that I'm reaching out to them about their lives, like, oh my gosh, I saw you just had a baby, congratulations, like sending a little gift, doing those things. And I think we all, like Tasha said, we've been literally on a hamster wheel the past 3 years, and now things are slowing down, and I'm really trying to just get reconnected with my clients, especially the ones that are top clients of mine, because I told Vince this in a mastermind group. I had a client that had referred me like 5 or 6 clients, and when I was on maternity leave, I saw they bought a house with another agent. And I mean, that just sucks when you see a client.
I mean, that's just not a past client. That's a raving fan to
Yeah.
refer you 5 or 6 people, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, granted, I had a baby, but it's one of those things. It's like, yeah, I haven't been in touch with them, and that's on me. That's not anything.
We talked a lot in our mastermind and a couple others that really stay in top of mind to the point, because they do know 5 or 6 other agents, right? So if you're not top of mind and giving them value,
Yep.
there's no guarantee they're going to come back to you.
Yep.
Favorite session, top takeaways.
Oh my goodness. So Jimmy Burgess was my absolute favorite, and I know everybody's already said that, but
Is there anything else that he said that has not been touched on?
yeah, so of course he did the first one with the winery and whatnot, but the second one that he did was all about AI, and I'm not gonna lie, I'm scared to death of it. I mean, you watch movies, iRobot, whatever. Like, it just looks like it's gonna control the world eventually, you know? But the one thing that really stuck out that he said is that you can use it for just about anything, but it will never replace any relationships or any emotion that you have. So he reiterated, you know, how extremely important it is to get in front of your clients, meet them for coffees, lunch, talk to them, call them. And he said nothing's going to take the place of those relationships as long as you're doing them, which a lot of times we get busy and we're not doing those things. So I think that was my absolute favorite comment that he said. As what you were just talking about, those videos, I think he used video.ai. He said you drop a video in that, so you just basically go take a house tour, drop a video in that, it breaks it down into short videos, then you can use it throughout that. Yep, so that was what he used. He also said something for targeted marketing to use howmanywalks.com. And that will actually pull information down to the county level, and you can pull different types of information on location. So if you're trying to target a specific location, it's a really nice little tool to do that too. I think other than that, Alan Dalton, he had one comment too that also I thought was kind of cool, because everybody is stuck in politics and stuff like that. And he said, although the country is divided, the real estate industry is completely united, and we all work together to help sell your home, which I thought was kind of neat, because I've met with a couple of clients that are trying to like say, what are you going to do that's better than another real estate agent, or, you know, just kind of try to divide us. And I thought that was really nice to hear. So
Thank you. Mr. Rusty.
Towards the tail end, so I don't want to say everything that everybody else has said, but yeah, there was a lot of energy. I thought it was pretty well done. Just, I mean, so much information.
Pretty well done.
Pretty
Make
well
that as one of our
done. Pretty well
testimonies.
done. Not bad, Vince. No, I didn't go last year. I think I went the year before. So kind of in general, I will say one of the takeaways that I have from these things, you know, and this was the first year I went to convention too, is when you go there, you just get so much motivation, and you meet so many people that really just, you know, wow, they're doing that. What the hell am I doing type thing. And right now with all the negativity with interest rates and everything, it reminds you that, okay, that's the one negative, but whether it's tweaking your business and doing like the AI stuff and taking a deep dive into that, or working on your clients, not your past clients, as Alan said, your clients, and working on those. There's just always something that we can be doing like in this business, and I think it's very easy to get in that rut of, oh, it's slow, it's hot, I'm too busy to do that, and to take deep dives. Alan Dalton had a lot of cool quotes. A couple of them I thought that were pretty funny. He's like, well, when you're walking around a house, you're like, yep, this is a Berkshire here. This is a Berkshire. When you're talking to like prospective clients, just kind of letting them know that. Yep, there's 3,300 opinions out there, but there's only one set of facts. So if somebody says they want to get a second opinion on getting their house priced, but Brew jumped into the AI, and some of the stuff is just way over my head. And some of the stuff that I'll probably never even use, but for people who are have people that speak different languages, there's an app out there that you can speak to, like the camera, and it will literally lip sync your mouth, your words, your tone in that language. So if you want to speak, to someone who speaks Chinese or Spanish or whatever, you can do that. For people who don't like the camera, there's one where you can look at a teleprompter, but it will actually bring your eyes, back on to the camera, so it doesn't look like you're looking like a teleprompter there. But yeah, and again, I would say the investment one was great, and it was just nice hearing people saying the good and the bad. I think a lot of times we see, all these people talking about their numbers and top producers, but then a lot of people really talked about, struggles that they're having, that they're going through, and it just makes this business more real and relatable, because it's easy to think that everyone's got it, the grass is greener, but at the same time, we know the struggles that are out there and how much time it takes, and I don't want to say it's nice to have other people going through struggles, but sometimes it's not like, well, I'm not the only one, it's like we just got to keep working, get out of this.
And I heard that from a lot of people. Like, it was nice to see really crazy top producers having some struggles, that their business was down and they were trying to figure out, how do I generate revenue, how do I cut costs, and what they were doing to stay positive in that process, which I'd say more of that today than we have the last couple of years. Mamie, you had the quote of the event. I think you know what it is. Yeah. You want to say what we were talking about and what the quote is?
Well, we were talking about sometimes no matter what you do, you will get screwed by another agent or your client. You can think you're doing everything right, and sometimes things just happen, and you need to let it go and move on. And I did mention that I was Italian and that you don't have to die to be dead to me. So, I mean, that's what I said. So, but the truth that you're doing this business long enough, things are going to happen. You could show people houses. You could bring them an offer on their house. You can go to their dad's funeral, and then 3 months later on, you're on vacation, and they couldn't get through because you were in Mexico, and they bought, a very high-end house, and then promise the agent the other house and go, oh my God, don't take it personally. Are you fucking kidding me?
You're dead to me.
Yeah. So things happen. I've let it go. Kinda. Not really yet, but I will.
Favorite session or sessions?
Well, I had so many. I've decided I do have a crush on Alan Dalton and Jimmy Burgess. Jimmy's short, bald, but smart, intelligent.
And Alan's 74.
And Alan's 74. But they
sexy
say,
in the room.
So hot. It's so hot. But they say such amazing things, and just I'm starting to follow them. I mean, I think Alan and Andrew Undum, they're coming out with a book, or maybe it's just Alan, about 300 things to say.
Together they are, yes.
Yeah, okay. And I cannot wait till that comes out, because the stuff he just throws out while we're sitting in here and you're like jotting down shorthand to try and remember, it was just really stuff that just sets you apart. And they're going to get all this information, I think, out to everybody, so I won't go into all that, but words matter. I have a list of things here. One of the things, the interest rates. Yes, everything that we said earlier, that Rich Brown said earlier, it's a good time to buy. Like, my husband and I haven't bought a house. We have investment properties. We haven't bought a house in 2.5 years because, hello, interest rates. We're like, what the hell are we doing? Now there's less competition. You can actually do an inspection. You should be buying now. We can always refinance. And these rates, they're high, but they're not that bad. For those of you just got in the business, yes, they're high. But we're going to settle into norms that are 5, 6. 2 and 3 were ridiculous. Follow realtors on social media. I am not on social media at all. After the event, several of us met down in Deb Cizik's office and kind of just decided to kind of go over some of the things. Jessica has agreed to do a co-video with me because I will not do it by myself. She's like, let's do one together. So I'm going to hold her to that. I'm going to very much look into more of the GPT, which I have not done. It looks like there's so much to do. Jimmy Burgess, again, his speeches are amazing. One of the things, and I think someone mentioned it in the last panel, but he used the words, who are you grafted to, when he was talking about the vineyards and grafting the vines. It's like, who are you grafted to? And if they're complete, they show you no value. If they're like suckers, literal suckers, they bear no fruit. If they literally have no value, they don't have to give you business, but maybe they pump you up, keep them around. But if there's really nothing there, and you're like, oh my God, the phone's ringing, bye bye. Let's see. Go where you thrive. Another thing I mentioned, and I said this in the panel, like there was couple hundred people here plus, and when I got up here, I told people, they're probably like, who the hell is she? Like I was like a wallflower when there's that many people. I do not flourish when there's a huge networking event and they're like, go introduce yourself. I'm like, they don't want to talk to me. Like I will not. I won't go up to you and introduce myself to any of you. I'm just back there. So, but I thrive in smaller groups, so smaller networking groups. When I first came to town, I joined a sorority alumni club. So go where you thrive. If you thrive in a big networking thing, and like my husband would be amazing at that. Like he can do that. We're like night and day. But for me, I'm going to go into a smaller group, and that's where, and that's okay. I don't have to. Don't force yourself to do something that it's not going to be beneficial to you. Back to basics. Tasha mentioned that too, and that's something I'm good at. Back to basics, knocking on doors, talking to people. I'm not cold calling. I'm only calling my clients. Let's see. Accountability. You said who likes it? I love it. I love it when I'm not being coached now, but when I was being coached, that's what motivated me. When I had to talk to my coach Monday morning at 8 a.m., I was scared to death at 7:30. If I knew what she was going to ask, and if I didn't have it, it freaked me out. So that motivates me. I don't want someone to be, oh, you're so nice. What are you, yell at me. I need someone to yell at me and tell me to do my job. Burnout. You mentioned people whose business is down, and Kelly,
Yep.
Not Slump.
Kelly from St. Louis.
Kelly from St. Louis. One of the few people I've met over the years, and we were talking, and I'm like, oh my God, how's it going? And she just, and I've always thought she does amazing things. She's like, I am so burned out. I'm like, I don't know what's going on. I'm like, oh my God, you're not alone. So even high producers get that burnout. Step away, do something you enjoy, but you'll get through it. Let's see. One of the things I do started when I worked for Enterprise Rent-A-Car for 13 years, and I knew I was walking into my office with 45 reservations for cars and 1 cargo van and 1 Geo Metro at the time on my lot. That's all I had, and I had 45 reservations. And on the way to work, and I knew people were going to be yelling at me, I always listened to one song. It's an old song. It's called Skater Boy by Alanis Morissette. It just always pumped me up. If you haven't listened to it, super cool song. Boy is spelled B-O-I. And so I kind of have a couple songs I listen to. That one pumps me up. And then the other one I did mention on my panel too. The other one, if you're like, just need to get stuff off your chest and you get screwed, like, is it, I forget who it is, but Kelly Clarkson sang it about her ex-husband. Yeah. Fantastic lyrics also. She changed some lyrics, but it's A, B, C, D, E, F, U. Like that one, like just sing it loud, get it off your chest.
Which is what prompted your statement.
Yeah, you don't have to die to be dead to me. Let's see, I had so many
then
things.
I need you to wrap up so I can get back to these
And
guys.
you don't have to be perfect. Some things you might not be perfect, just do them. They don't have to be perfect. Specifically video, just do it. I get analysis paralysis because I want it to be perfect. It doesn't need to be.
Rusty, give me a couple last takeaways for the...
And Vince, I think I might be quoting you. Were you talking about the 5 acts of kindness? Was that
Yes,
you? Okay. That's something that actually I left with. That was at the very end of the conference, and it was, sorry if I'm screwing up here, but just try to do 5 acts of kindness every day. And it's very easy to say that and not do it, but I was thinking about it, and with your story of that little old couple, it's those little things that you do for people. Put a small smile. I mean, whether you open up a door for someone, I don't care whether whatever it is, just talking to a receptionist for 5 minutes or a few minutes and seeing how their day is going. Those little things, they were talking about how depression's up and we're, social media is closing out people. But I think for me, I really took that, so thank you, Vince, because I think trying to incorporate that can just make you have a better day in general. When you do acts of kindness, and you never know what it's going to lead to. You never know who you're going to be introduced to. So I really appreciated that, so thank you so much.
Yeah, and we'll have a closing session on that also, a video on that also. So, Trina.
I think after listening to everybody over the last few days for this, it was literally getting back to practical steps and literally just listening to people. I think we get so busy we don't listen to the details. So like for us, for our team, like when we meet with a client, we're listening to all the details we possibly can, and we're writing everything down. So like birthdays, anniversaries, all the kiddos, kind of like the Facebook stuff. Just following up with them in a way that's meaningful is going to stick with them in a long run. And some of the practical steps that Jamie Burgess talked about, becoming the person that knows the entire market, build more and deeper relationships, express your gratitude to your clients, your spheres, the realtors around you, and of course just making sure your listing presentation, it's on complete lockdown, because you never know when you're going to need it. So,
Rusty, before I let Rachel, weren't you the one that talked about funk something? No.
Oh yeah, your cards that you send out.
Yeah. Punk, same thing.
Oh yeah, Punk Post. Yeah, so Punk Post is it's a way to send custom cards to really anybody on there. So you just go to this website. It's called punkpost.com. They're anywhere from $5 to $7, and we've been using them a lot, especially probably like the past 3-4 years. When someone goes under contract, you just type in what you want it to say, and then you give them a description of what you want it to look like, and the envelope comes, and it just looks like a teenager went to work on it. It's all colorful, bright. It's these artists are just independent artists all around the world, and so when someone has a baby, when someone has a house, or just gets a house under contract, whatever, and you can even do like gift cards inside of there. I know it was a little bit odd. They had coupons at first a few years ago, so we haven't looked back much into it, but you can do gift cards inside of it too. So for a, hey, here's a gift card for whatever, Starbucks or for a restaurant, thanks for your business. And when that shows up in the mail, that's going to stand out like no other. And they're going to remember that. And most of the times when you do it, people say, oh my goodness, thanks for the card. So it's just really interactive.
Thank you. Wrap us up.
I think Megan Owens talking in our Rethink group about how she's trying to pinpoint people's needs, because I feel like a lot of the clients are on edge, which puts all of us on edge, but a lot of it is based in fear because they're so overwhelmed with whatever they have to do, and they're scared about the market, and they're hearing this negative chatter about interest rates and prices falling. And so she talked a lot about just trying to be very focused and in the moment with each client, figuring out what they need, and then providing that as a part of her service. So if they need someone to come and, pack up their house, she's gonna find someone to do that. If they need someone to come and clean up their yard, she's gonna find someone to do that. And then just include that with her listing fee. And she talked about people aren't questioning her commission rate because she's including all of those services. She finds out what they need, and then she fills that void. And so I think that was a big thing for me, is just wow, we get in such a robotic, mechanical way. And Megan, who does crazy business, and she's able to slow down and really focus in on people. And that just, for me, really resonated, because I think it really, I don't know. We were in Rethink, and we had 5 people in tears.
Yeah.
And these are
it got very emotional, honestly.
Yeah, agents that are doing a lot of business, and their business was down and depression setting in, and it just was really eye-opening to me that we're emotional, but so are our clients, and just trying to be more empathetic, because I feel like I've had some crazies lately, and I'm whoa, where is this coming from? And then just realizing it's the fear of the unknown and all of that.
Yeah, she already talks about concierge services, and that she's competed against not discount brokers, but limited service brokers lately, and she's winning all those people. And she says it makes sense because I'm never hardly spending over $2,000,
right?
And I'm always getting 2 transactions out of it, selling their house and then selling them a more expensive house typically. And in addition, I'm getting referrals out. So she says, from a perspective, I'm not really saying. I said, would you say, okay, it's this commission if you do these, and this commission if you do that? She said, no, it's going to be this commission period, but I'm not discounting my commission. And I'm getting the deals because people see the value in what I'm doing, and they see that I'm helping make this an easier, simple, stress-free transaction for them. So, guys, let's give them a big hand. Thank you very much. Two quick things and we're going to be done. First of all, we do a raffle for the Sunshine Kids at my house on Tuesday night, and we raised, actually, this number's 200 off, right? We raised, yes, $11,575 for the Sunshine Kids on Tuesday night. So we were very happy to do that. Eben and his brother and his mother attended our event on Tuesday night, so it was great to see them, as you saw. And then our staff, we'll be having a staff appreciation day for them Thursday afternoon, so there will not be staff here afternoon on Thursday. They're going to be probably in the pool because it's almost too hot, I think, to sit around the pool over at Jay's house. So if you have anything, get it in early Thursday or we'll get back to it on Friday. So guys, thank you very much. When we get those videos out, please go attack one of those, make some notes, implement some of those things, and then go get another one because there's some really great content this year. Thank you guys. Appreciate it.